Hello everyone, Welchie here and welcome back to the Part-Time Gamers YouTube channel. I am Welchie, one half of the Part-Time Gamers, and welcome back to Part-Time Gamers Weekly. And I guess I should say Happy New Year. Hope you had a great holiday break, Christmas break if you celebrate Christmas. Hope you had a good New Year. Hope you're all refreshed and ready for 2022 in terms of your life, your careers, your school, whatever you're doing, but also for video games, of course. It should be a very, very exciting year for video games, as we went through in the last episode of Part-Time Gamers Weekly. So, one note, I have recovered from COVID. I don't have COVID anymore, but I still have a lingering kind of annoying cough, which gets worse as I talk. So this probably isn't a great idea, but hopefully I can get through this without coughing too much. But I just want to apologise in advance in case it's a cough fest. Hopefully it won't be. Today in Part-Time Gamers Weekly, we are going to be discussing Mortal Shell. That's right, this is our Mortal Shell is our Game Club game for December. And we're in January now, so we're going to review it today. And then we're going to pick our next month or January's Game Club game. And we are going to talk about what we've been playing over the Christmas period. And that's it, basically. Basically, today is about Mortal Shell and the Part-Time Gamers Club. But before we do get into that, I do want to go through a new announcement. Not our announcement, but a gaming announcement, which happened yesterday. I keep looking over here because I've got my notes here, sorry. And that is that PSVR 2 has been announced. So PlayStation's virtual reality headset from PS4, they're making a new one for PS5 and they just call it PSVR 2. Nice and simple. And yeah, it's been announced and we're going to go through the details today. So apparently, well not apparently, this is confirmed. Sony have announced this. It is, apologies, it's going to have a 4K HDR OLED screen with 110 degrees field of vision. Now, I didn't have PSVR 1, so not entirely sure how much that's improved, but it wouldn't have been 4K, and I imagine the degrees, the field of view is like 90 degrees, maybe 100. 90 seems, might have been 90. Anyway, it's going to have a 90 to 120 hertz frame rate, which is very impressive. And it's going to have headset sensory feedback. So I'm wondering if that's meaning similar to the DualSense controllers where it's like haptic feedback, if it's going to like vibrate on your head. Like I don't really, maybe when you get a headshot you actually feel it, I don't know. When someone gets a headshot on you, obviously, or in a boxing game, if you got punched, you'd feel it. That'd be pretty insane. I don't imagine it would feel like getting punched, but if they can at least have some sort of realism to it, that'd be pretty cool. 3D audio, as they've been doing with their headsets, so that was kind of expected, but still cool. Now, one of the cool features is going to have eye tracking, so they'll be able to tell where you're looking at all times, so they could do some cool stuff with that, whether that just being like dialogue, say if you're looking somewhere while someone's talking to you and they're like, why aren't you looking at me? That kind of thing. Well, I don't know, they could do lots of different cool things with that. People are much more creative than I am. The Sense controllers, they call them Sense controllers. So they're not dual sense, but they're like one individual handheld sense controllers. They'll include haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. So basically, it's basically dual sense made into these movable, trackable controllers. So that is definitely good that they're going to have the adaptive triggers and haptic feedback. And a single cord. Now, from what I understand, PSVR 1 had a single cord from the headset, but I think what this is saying is it's just that cord into the console. Whereas before, I think there was other cords involved around the PS4. So even though the headset only had one lead coming from it, I think there were more leads to do it. I don't have it, so I don't know for sure, but if you do know, let me know in the comments if that's true. I believe that is true. So it's an improvement in the single cord, but when there's stuff like Oculus Quest 2, or are they even calling it that now because of this whole Facebook Meta thing? Is it called Meta Quest? I don't know. I don't like all this meta stuff, but anyway, That's all cordless. There's no cords. You just put on a headset and you've got all the freedom. That is the ideal situation. That's what I was hoping for. That would have really sold me on this. The fact that it still has a cord has put me off a little bit. Because it's like a hazard, isn't it, really? And it's a bit frustrating to be like tethered to this thing. But I imagine you can get much more power by using that cable, using the PS5's cable, rather than just relying on what's in the headset. So I think that's why they've done that. They probably wouldn't have been able to achieve all these impressive, very impressive specifications if it wasn't tethered to the PS5. So for me, I'm definitely interested. It sounds like it's going to be pricey just from what I've detailed there. I can't imagine it's going to be less than £300, which is a pretty high amount considering if you're getting if you don't already have a PS5, but you really want PSVR 2, you're going to have to get a PS5 as well. If that's still selling at what, 450, that's 750 quid for the two. That's a lot of money. Whereas you can get the Oculus Quest for like £300, or maybe it's less than that. Maybe it's 250 bucks. I remember seeing a load of advertisements around it around Christmas about it. I can't remember the price. But yeah, I'm not too sure if I'll be diving into PSVR 2 yet or not. I've always wanted to play virtual reality gaming, to try it. I know I probably won't be like I'm going to give up on the PS5 now and just play VR. I don't think that'll ever happen. But, well, it might eventually. But not right now. We're gonna if I do get this, it will not be day one, that's for sure, just because it's new tech that I'm not familiar with, and sorry, and I want to just see the reviews, see what games they're going to bring to it, what's the backwards compatibility like, because even though I haven't got PSVR, sorry, God, I have, because I've had PlayStation Plus, I have actually accumulated quite a few free PlayStation games, PlayStation VR games, which I could use on a PSVR. So if they all work on PSVR 2, I've already got a backlog of games to play, which would help sell it to me as well. But we'll see. PlayStation are very funny with backwards compatibility. So yeah, that's some interesting news. PSVR 2 is on its way. No release date yet. I imagine it'd be 2023. I don't think it'll be this year. I don't think we're going to hear too much more about it this year. Maybe towards the end of the year, they'll start announcing some more games. Sorry, they did announce one game. Horizon Call to the Mountain. So it's a game set in the Horizon universe. Horizon being Horizon Forbidden West, the one coming out in February, and Zero Dawn, the one that's been out since 2017. So that's cool. It looks cool. Well, they only sent a very small teaser of it. But it looks interesting enough. And if they can pull it off, if they can make it, won't be like a PS5 level game or even a PS4 level game, I don't think, in terms of quality, but if they can produce something similar and put that into PSVR where it's an actual like AAA kind of standard game that's a must play on VR, that would be very impressive, and that would help sell it so much more, especially for me. So we'll see what they can do there. A lot of potential games they could do just from games that are out there now. So I imagine a Last of Us game, obviously nothing to do with the characters that are in The Last of Us, but putting you in that Last of Us world, like coming up against clickers and stuff, it'd be terrifying, but amazing. There's so much opportunity there. I'm sure they could do something with Days Gone, the zombie game. It's basically the same as Last of Us, similar thing. They could pick one or the other. Last of Us probably be a bit scarier in like kind of horror vibe. Days Gone, there's like loads of zombies running at you, which is scary obviously, but Last of Us is more the eerie kind of setting. God of War, I don't think they'll do that. They might. They may make you Kratos. I don't think so. Maybe Atreus with the bow. That's an interesting way. But anyway, I wanted to talk about that because that's breaking news kind of this week. So I wanted to get that in there before we go into this week's topic of the show. Topic of the week. Okay, so Mortal Shell was our part-time gamers game club game of the month. What a mouthful that is to say. If anyone's got a better way of phrasing that or saying that, let me know, or a different title for it. But here at Part-Time Gamers, we have introduced a game club where we're going to be doing each month. And the first month of December was Mortal Shell, as that was the free PlayStation Plus game for December. And it also joined Game Pass late November, I think. So yeah, Mortal Shell, probably the wrong game to pick, if I'm being deadly honest, because I've never got on with a Souls game. I've played Bloodborne. I haven't got far in that. I've beaten Father Gascoigne, gone a bit further, but not boss-wise, just kind of ventured into the next area. Sekiro, complete hardest game I've played in my life. I am suck so bad at that game. Don't even mention that game. I didn't even get anywhere on that. And Demon Souls. I played Demon Souls. I beat a few bosses on that, 3 or 4 on PS5. Actually, I'm going to say 3. I think I beat 3 bosses. I think I died to the 4th and never went. I kind of rage quit. That's definitely the one I enjoyed the most of the 3 in terms of not accessibility but ease. I definitely felt like I was half okay at that game. Like, if here's average and here's like the lowest, like awful, I was probably like here, that I could actually do something. Whereas in Bloodborne and Sekiro, I felt very low. So that brings in Mortal Shell. I wanted to give it a try because it wasn't made by the people that make those Souls games. It's just made, I can't remember the developer's name, which is really bad of me. I'm going to Google it while we're here. But that's not Google. It's not made by the same developers. So I thought maybe if they tweak things in cool ways, maybe it will appeal to me more. So Mortal Shell is developed by Cold Symmetry and published by PlayStack. It came out in 2020, so it's not that old. They released a next-gen version in March 2021. Apologize for the coughing. It's really bad. I'm going to try and get through this. I really want to get this video out this week. See, as I said, Mortal Shell probably wasn't the best game to pick because I probably wasn't going to complete it, and I did not complete it. I'll put my hands up, I didn't complete it. Many reasons, I'm not making excuses. I did have COVID and I didn't want to play that kind of game when I was recovering. Christmas, I had my birthday, I had my daughter's birthday. There's a lot going on around the Christmas period. And then finally, it's a Souls game. I have to admit, I got pissed off with it. I did get pissed off with it. I was playing on PS5, but it was the PS4 version on PS5 because that's the one that gave us on PlayStation Plus. I put about 6 hours into it on PS5. And then, this is a bit of a spoiler for what I was going to talk about later when we go into what I've been playing, but on Christmas Eve, I got myself an Xbox Series X. So I'll go into more of that later, but I've also now played about 4 or 5 hours on Xbox Series X. And that, through Game Pass, is the enhanced edition, so the actual next-gen edition. And I played that for about 4 or 5 hours. And before that, while I was only on my PS5 kind of brain, I was ready to come into this review and say, I don't like the game. However, now having played a bit more, and from the beginning again, of course, because I had to do it on Series X, I do like this game. So in total, I've played 10 to 11 hours, 10 to 12 hours, somewhere around there. Definitely 10 hours, which isn't enough for a full review. I must stress that this isn't a full review. This is a game club. We're just chatting about my experience with the game over this month and my thoughts on it. But yeah, I was very close to coming in and saying, I don't like this game, but I do like it. I do like, fucking hell, sorry. I do like it. And what I like the most about it, as I do like with most of these Souls games, is the atmosphere and the aesthetic. It's very cool, it's very kind of eerie and mysterious, which all of them are, especially Bloodborne, especially Mortal Shell from the ones that I've played. And I like that. I like the enemy types, the enemy designs. I like the setting. I like all that stuff. And it's mysterious. One thing I don't like about these games is that I quite like to have my story spoon-fed to me. I don't like to... I don't mind searching for the story as long as it's clear once you have found it. And these games aren't like that. They're very like lore-driven, hidden behind the scenes. You have to really dig, go into YouTube videos, find out more and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. I will enjoy a game more if it's spoon-fed to me. So these games are already at a disadvantage. Immortal Shell is no different. It's very confusing. You play as this thing. I don't even know what I am. I've never been told. They call me a foundling, I believe. And you wander this place called, I can't remember the name of it. It's a problem with haven't played it in a couple of days. Fulgrim, I'm going to say Fulgrim. And you fast learn that you can enter these, what are essentially dead bodies, but they're called shells. So you enter these shells and you take that shell and you take basically its armor, and you take on their characteristics. And there's 4 shells that you can use, not to collect, because you can just take one and beat the game with that one. It's not like you have to have all 4. And there is an achievement and a trophy for not having any shells, which is insane to me. But I have tried out all 4 shells. One of them, so let me tread back a bit. For the other Souls games, you typically, other than Sekiro, but typically you make a character, you pick a starting set of characteristics. So you might pick one with more health and blah, blah, blah. But then as you go through the game and earn your currency, which is blood echoes or souls, in Mortal Shell it's tar, you normally use that to upgrade those statistics. So you upgrade your health, upgrade your strength, upgrade your dexterity, luck. I can't remember all of them, but you upgrade them individual characteristics by one. Mortal Shell doesn't do that. So the 4 shells each have their own characteristics. So the first one I found is basically your bog standard jack of all trades, decent, like average health, average stamina, and he focuses on what is called hardening. I'm basically giving a very long description of this game. This video might be long, but hardening is, so you've got your standard, like you've got a parry, you've got a dodge, but then hardening, you basically harden into like a stone shell. And then when they hit you, you break out of it, but they kind of like stutter and you can hit them and whatnot. And you can use it in different ways. This first show I found, it kind of focuses on that hardening side of things. The next show I found is similar again. Kind of like, when I saw it, I was like, this has got the same kind of health and stamina as last time. But this other one focuses on what is called Resolve. And Resolve is basically the ability to use special moves. Then another shell has not much health, or less health, but massive stamina bar. Massive. I quite liked using him. And then, as you probably guessed, the last one had loads of health and not much stamina. And I actually quite liked using him as well. But my favourite one to use was, as probably, I guess a lot of people would, I don't know, but the kind of bog standard, average, decent health, decent stamina, the middle ground. But I preferred using the hardened one for not much reason. I probably should have used the other one more, actually, the special moves, because they can come in very handy and it's easier to kill enemies. So maybe that's another reason why I didn't do as well as I could have. But I like that. I did like the concept of having 4 different shells with their own characteristics, and you pick the one you want to go with. And each of those shells have different ability trees. Like I was saying, the one I used, most of the ability tree that you could unlock with tar and stuff. Tar and no, it's not Insight. Insight is Bloodborne. What's it called? Insight? I can't remember what it's called. But you collect that and then you use that to upgrade or to unlock abilities. Those abilities, the one I used, were about hardening. So, for example, the only ability I ever unlocked was that when I use my harden, it will quickly regain my stamina, which was very useful, very useful. The other one, as I said, was all about his resolve, so you could use his special abilities, and then the other 2 were about their health or the stamina or whatever. I didn't really look into those ones as much, but I don't like, as much as I like the concept of those 4 shells, I don't like the ability trees. And the main reason for that is I just never found, other than that one ability that I unlocked where I gained my stamina back, none of the abilities I was like, holy shit, I need to save my stuff for that. I need that, I want that. Literally all of them I was like, I could happily, I think, I don't see a reason to really focus on unlocking this, or why should I use my points on this, that kind of thing. I was happy enough to just not unlock them, which I didn't like. I would have liked to have kind of had the Bloodborne style where I could have maybe increased my guy's health and stamina, stuff like that, or just make the abilities a bit more appealing, a bit better. As I said, the one I did unlock was useful, so maybe my other ones would have been, but from their descriptions, I don't think they would have been. You might, if you've played it, you may disagree with me, let me know, but I didn't like that. But saying I didn't like that, that ended up being the reason why this has been the Souls-like game that I've gotten with the most. And that is because when you die, as in the Souls games, you lose all the tar that you've gained in that life. So in a Souls game, you lose all the souls. In Bloodborne, you lose all the blood echoes. You can go back and retrieve them, but if you've gone miles and miles and miles, that might be quite difficult because you could die on the way. And if you die while trying to get them back, they will then disappear. That is one of the things that genuinely ruins my experience with Soul games the most. If I've gained a lot of echoes or a lot of souls, die, I get very angry and I try and get them back. And if I die before I get them back, I get super angry because it's a waste of time, like a massive waste of time in my opinion, because I've been earning those to try and improve my character and they're gone. The reason why it's not a big problem in this game is because I don't care about the tar. I don't want to upgrade my abilities. I don't really care about them. Which accidentally, because obviously they wanted me to want the tar, and you can use them in the shop and like buy health and stuff, but you can earn that like easily enough. You know what I mean? The abilities were more expensive stuff. So yeah, I never felt that worried if I lost my tar. So whilst I was annoyed that the ability trees weren't that great, accidentally actually improved my experience because I wasn't too angry if I kept dying. Obviously it was annoying, especially if I got a distance and had to go back that way, but at least I hadn't lost kind of a valuable progress, if that makes sense. So in that sense, I actually quite liked that, and that's probably why my experience with this game is probably the most enjoyable Souls-like game I have played at the moment. Don't get me wrong, I prefer, as much as I like the setting and the aesthetic of this game, I do prefer the style of Bloodborne. And graphically, there's not a better game than Demon's Souls. But the experience I had on Mortal Shell, I felt that I wanted to play it more. And I've basically finished playing it for this review, but I'm not going to delete it off my Xbox. I'll probably delete my PS5. I'll probably keep it on my Xbox though. And I think I want to keep going back to it. And that's the first time that's happened on a Souls game. There's been times when I've been looking at, what am I going to play tonight? And I was thinking, you know what, I might have played more Mortal Shell. So that has not happened on a Souls game thing before. So I'm impressed by that. But yeah, I can't give a massive review on kind of like the, as I said, the story, because I don't know what the fuck's going on. And I'm not convinced I would have if I beat the game, to be honest, because it's so mysterious. And like boss fights and stuff, I didn't get to do that many of them. But the enemies that I did come across, I liked them all. I got to a new area, and they're different types, and they were really cool. Went to a couple new areas. One area I liked much more than the other, but apologies. Yeah, overall, I like this game. It's not the best game I've ever played. Definitely not the worst. It's definitely the best experience that I've had in a Souls game. Now, if I put a different hat on and I looked at this from someone that enjoys the Souls games, I'm not sure where this would rank. It might be the worst for people that enjoy the actual Demon's Souls, Bloodborne, Dark Souls, that kind of stuff, because it's not made by the same people. So it might even feel different to people that are very used to the Souls games. But I do think it's different enough with the whole shell concept and the ability trees rather than the statistics you increase. They might interest some people who like the Souls games. But ultimately, I probably think it's lacking a little bit for those people. For me, it was almost the ideal Souls-like experience. Ultimately, I think the concept of, obviously in this case it was okay because I didn't care about the tar, but the concept of dying and losing everything is quite frustrating, which is just something that the Souls games are like. And with Elden Ring coming out, it makes me worry what I'm going to think of that if I do bother playing it. So anyway, what we're going to do with these Game Club games and any game that we review is we're going to have a new scoring system. So we're not going to give it a score out of 10 because it's a weird scale, because the way I see it, just going back on old games, God of War to me is a 10 personally. And then if we look at something like, if I was to review Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, I'd probably give it a 9, 9.5 for me personally. But as two games, they are very different. And I don't know what point I'm trying to get across here, but basically God of War is clearly the better game. I don't think many people disagree with that. But the scores are very similar. What we're going to do is have categories, and that is going to be based on the PlayStation trophy system. So you're going to have bronze being not a great game, you can miss it. That's kind of like the category that I fill in. Silver, good game. I don't know, good game. Maybe get it on a sale kind of thing, rent it, get it on Game Pass, get it on PlayStation Plus. It's not a necessary must-buy kind of thing. Gold would be great game. Buy it, try it, you'll have a great time with it. And Platinum will be must-play, Game of the Year contender, best game ever contender. So probably easier to have gone that way. Platinum would have fitted a game like God of War, Last of Us 2, in my opinion. I know a lot of you would put it in the bronze. Those kind of games. Gold would feel maybe, for me personally, Horizon Zero Dawn. I personally probably put Red Dead Redemption 2 on the border of gold and platinum. Like, it's not, I don't know which one it would fit in. It's very close in both. Silver, and then bronze would fit something like, I don't know, name a shit game. That's not worth playing. That game I played, if anyone used to listen to our podcast, 1111 Memories Retold. That's where that would go in bronze. Mortal Shell, the first game is going to be ranked officially. Obviously, I've just done those games, but as an official Game Club game, I'm going to put that straight in silver. It's a good game. It's a genuinely good game. Personally, I wouldn't tell you to go out and buy it at full price. From my experience, if you're a Souls fan, maybe do. If you're not quite sure, I wouldn't. I'd get it on Game Pass now, definitely. Give it a go, see what you like. You could say that about the bronze, but there are some games, the bronze is for the games where I'm like, look, it's probably not even worth your time on Game Pass. That's where bronze is. Mortal Shell's in silver, definitely worth your time to try it. Like I said, it might not be your thing. If Souls games aren't your thing, like it's not mine, it might not be. But this one, for me, was a bit more than the others. For Souls people, this may have squeezed into gold, but for the sake of this review, it's going to go into silver. So, Mortal Shell, the first game of our part-time Game Club review. Game Club games review. I can't remember what I said there. Go straight to silver. And I'll keep like a track of all this so I can like go through them all. Maybe at the end of the year we can summarise what we've done. And hopefully we'll have some platinums in there, but who knows. So, if you've been playing Mortal Shell, guys, please do leave comments in the YouTube below. In the YouTube comments below. This cough is obviously making me go crazy. Apologies, I really am sorry. Yeah, leave comments down below. What do you think of Mortal Shell? If you played it like when it first came out, you can also let me know what you thought about it. And hopefully I'll be able to share your opinions in the next video. But yeah, obviously this game is now over for Game Club. It's a new month. We've got a new game to play this month. And that is going to be, drumroll, you probably didn't even hear that, Prey. It was between two. It was between Prey, the 2017 game. I believe there was an older game called Prey, but this is the 2017 game, I believe by Arcane. Let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure that's right, but I'm pretty sure Arcane, the developers behind, yes, Arcane and Bethesda. Bethesda published it, Arcane developed it. Arcane and the developers behind Dishonored and recently Deathloop. going to be playing Prey for the month. It was between that or Anthem. My feeling with this was, with Prey, I wanted to see if the hype was well deserved. And I say hype, it's not like rated 10 out of 10s, but it's one of those games which is highly thought of, even years after its release. And it's one of those games where people say, "Oh, have you got any hidden gems or any games that I might not have heard of?" A lot of people, like in podcasts and stuff, will say, "Give Prey a go. Prey is a great game." So I wanted to see if that was still the case, if that lived up to the hype, if that was a game worth playing, or if Anthem, which went the other way, had massive hype before it released and just absolutely failed on launch. It was apparently a mess. The reviews were awful. I wanted to see if that was true or if the game has somehow improved since then. Between the two, I just feel like I wanted to play Prey more. I know I said I would have our Twitch subs vote for each game each month. I did put it in our Twitch chat and there wasn't any votes. So for now, for the foreseeable future, I will pick a game each month until we have a few more Twitch subs, and then I'll put it back to Twitch subs to vote. So yeah, this month is Prey, and looking at the schedule for the Part-Time Gamers Weekly, we will probably be reviewing Prey on the week that commences the 31st of Jan. Probably not then, so like around the 1st, 2nd, 3rd of Feb. Around then we'll be reviewing Prey. So if you're going to play along, play the game as well, you've got until around then to beat it. And let me know your thoughts. You can let me know your thoughts beforehand. I did tweet out a few times if you want to give me your thoughts on, I forgot about Mortal Shell. I'll do the same with Prey as well. And yeah, Prey is the next Game Club game. It's on Game Pass, as it's a Xbox, Bethesda are now Xbox, so it's all on Game Pass. I don't know about PlayStation now. It might used to have been, I don't think it is anymore. I don't know if it was a PlayStation Plus game in the past, I don't think it was. But you could probably get it relatively cheap if you wanted to play along. Or on sale, wait for it to go on sale if it does this month. But if you have an Xbox, it's on Game Pass, you can play it for free. Anthem is also on Game Pass, so I'm always going to pick a game which is quite accessible. I know it might not be as accessible on PlayStation, but as close as I can get. Normally as well, I keep going on a rant here, but it will be a PlayStation Plus title or a Game Pass title. PlayStation Plus titles this month didn't really intrigue me enough to want to select one of those, so hopefully next month will be better. But yeah, speaking about, before we go into what we've been playing, just continuing the Game Club kind of section. Well, it's not even about Game Club anymore, but in terms of Part-Time Gamers Weekly, next week we will be doing the 2021 Game of the Year episode. So we'll be discussing the top games from 2021 that we played. It's probably going to be about 6 or 7 titles, not quite 10. If I did 10, it would literally be chucking some crap ones on at the end, just because I've tried them. So that's next week. The week that's definitely one to look out for, guys. That's going to be good. The week after that, so week commencing the 17th, will be I think I mentioned it last time, the 2022 Metacritic predictions for the games coming out this year. That'll be an interesting and fun one. Nothing particularly planned for the week after that, so it'll probably be something to do with anything that happens in the video game world, unless I think of something else. And then the week after that would be the review of Prey. So yeah, lots in the plan. I've got basically plans up until the 6th of June, but a lot of them are just placeholders where nothing's really happened yet. Something could happen. Something's gonna happen in the gaming world, so there'll be stuff to talk about. But I've got all of the Game Club reviews in there up until June. So yeah, well prepared for the year. So let's move on to what we've been playing, what you've been playing. As I said, guys, if you want to get your comments read out on the next episode, then let me know in the comments what you've been playing. If you haven't played Mortal Shell, what other games have you been playing? Particularly over the Christmas period, have you got any new games? Or did you go back to an old favourite? Just anything, what you've been playing. Personally, for me, as I said, on Christmas Eve, I got my Xbox Series X. So my birthday, I bought an Xbox Series X, and it turned up on Christmas Eve. Super happy. they just come out in stock, and I thought, you know what, I've got to just get it because I don't know when they're going to come back out in stock. So got it, and what turned up, apologies, and I have not touched my PlayStation 5 since. I've just been all about Xbox Series X. I've been loving it. Game Pass is just so good. I cannot overstate it. I know it's kind of become like a kind of a meme now where people joke about how good it is, but it genuinely is so good. And what I want to talk about a lot here is Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite on Xbox One was how I was playing it. I was really enjoying the multiplayer, like really enjoying it, and the campaign. But the multiplayer is what I want to talk about here. And everyone on Twitter and everything always just go on about how good the gameplay is and how smooth it felt and everything. And I was like, yeah, it does feel like good. It feels like great Halo gameplay, but I feel like everyone was going on about how smooth it was. And I was like, it's not that smooth. It's just like Halo. And then I played it on the Series X, and I cannot explain how different it felt. It's become, I've lost the Xbox One kind of memories now. Like, I can't remember how it used to feel. I literally was thinking about this earlier before doing this when I played on Series X, and I was like, I can't remember how this used to feel. It just feels normal now. This is normal. But like when those first couple of times playing Halo Infinite, after having played so much on the Xbox One, my God, it was incredibly different. It felt so good on the Series X, so good. And obviously still does. And it's made me appreciate the multiplayer and the game just so much more than I already did. So I've been playing a lot of that, a lot of the multiplayer and the campaign. Haven't quite beat the campaign yet, but I do intend to beat it before next week's Game of the Year episode. I'm really hoping to do that. Other games I've just played a little bit. I played a bit of Fight Night Champion. It's an Xbox 360 game, but I'm playing it obviously through Game Pass, backwards compatible. Had a bit of fun with that. Haven't beat that yet, the story, the champion mode, but I'm having fun with that. It's interesting to see an Xbox 360 graphics. It's going to take a quick drink. Hopefully that helps my throat a bit. But yeah, having fun fighting that champion. And I've been playing... I'm playing a lot more than this. I've been playing a game called The Forgotten City. Game Pass game. It came out this year, 2021. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I want to talk about it next week on the 2021 Game of the Year show. No spoilers for where it's going to come, but I feel like I want that episode to discuss it there rather than here. But I've been playing that. And I'm going to go on my phone here and look at my Xbox history. Apologies, because I just cannot remember what I've been playing. Because all my mind's thinking about at the moment is Halo. I swear I've been playing something else. Mortal Shell, obviously. I've been playing a bit of Gears 5, played a bit more Gears 5 with Scott. We need to finish Hive Busters. We might even do that tonight until I'm recording this, I'm not sure. I think we're like 1 or 2 chapters away. Yeah. I have been playing Forza Horizon 5, the racing game. I'm not going to include this in the Game of the Year conversation next week because I'm really enjoying it, but I personally struggled to put a racing game in that list just because I'm playing Forza Horizon as a chill out, kind of just sit there, kind of zone out and just race and do whatever and completely zone out. Don't get me wrong, it's incredibly, the graphics are great and it is a really fun game, but I just struggle, and I know IGN gave it Game of the Year, and fair play to them, but I just can't, in my mind, I can't process where that would fit in my top games of the year. At the moment, it would be bottom just because I just wouldn't put a racing game above other games, but that's just the way my mind works. I don't play racing games. It's my first racing game in ages, so that's just the way it works with me. Yeah, I will not be discussing it in 2021 Game of the Year. I might still give it a shout out, like an honourable mention or something, but I had a lot of fun with that. I don't know how many hours, can I see how many hours I put into it? I do love the Xbox app. I put about 4.5 hours into it. Just playing it here and there. But I do want to give a shout out to the Xbox Series X because I'm having so much fun with that. I've been trying out the quick resume feature. Forza Horizon 5 is the example. I have not actually turned that game off since I got the Series X. So from Christmas Eve, that game has been in quick resume mode since then. and it just works. I turn my Xbox on, I play Halo, I turn Halo off, and I'm like, let's play Forza Horizon, and it just loads up exactly where I was before. It's crazy good, and it's very quick. So props to that. But one thing I don't like about the Series X is that it just doesn't feel very next gen in terms of the the kind of, I guess you call it the dashboard, but the whole operating system of it. I'm going to call it dashboard. It's exactly the same layout and everything's exactly the same as the Xbox One, which makes it feel less next gen. When you get the PS5 and the new dashboard's there and it's all fancy, it feels new. It doesn't even have to feel next gen; it just feel new. So literally, I was playing Xbox One on Christmas Eve. My Xbox Series X turned up, plugged it in, started playing that, and it was seamless, which is great. But it didn't. I knew it was new, but it didn't feel new. If that makes sense. But another good bonus is the controller. I love the controller. It just feels so good. It feels so much better than the Xbox One controller. It's not even that different, but it feels so good. So I think I like the grips on the handles. I think that's what I like the most. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. As I said, we'll talk about it more next week because we'll go into it in the 2021 Game of the Year episode. But yeah, that is going to be it for this week's episode of Part-Time Gamers Weekly. Really hope you've enjoyed it. I do want to say sorry again for all the coughing and like the grunting or whatever noise you want to call it. Like clear my throat. I can't help it, unfortunately. I'm trying to get over it, but it's just lingering. It's lingering now. I can feel it. It's really annoying. But hopefully it wasn't too annoying for you guys. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed the Mortal Shell review. As I said, if you've been playing it, let me know your thoughts in the comments and I can discuss them next week. Let me know your thoughts on PSVR 2. Will you be getting it? Are you not interested at all? Let me know. And obviously, as always, let me know what you've been playing as well. Always interested to know what you guys are playing. So, especially this time, because you have Christmas and whatnot. But yeah, that's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, and please subscribe to see all our videos and to see when our next Part-Time Games Weekly goes live. Thanks, everyone. Look forward to seeing you in next week's 2021 Game of the Year episode.